Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and welcome to another episode of the Baptist Bible. I am Sister Vinny, your host, and I hail from the Plant My Feet on High Ground University. That's my school, children. All right, we're just going to share just really briefly with you today. And we're going to talk a little bit about signs of a cheap church. Children, a cheap church. You know, the Lord has called for us to be good stewards, good money managers, good managers of the resources that He has given us. Because you know it all belongs to Him. Praise the Lord, it all belongs to Him. So we just watching it for Him. That's all we doing is watching it for the Lord. Overseer. And some of us just can't seem to get it right. Now, I understand personal finances, and there ain't no excuse for that either. You know, we got to be better managers of our personal finances as well. But when you're dealing with the church's finances, it's got to be somebody that knows what they're doing and that is a good money manager. Praise the Lord now. I'm just talking to children. So we're going to look at a little bit of here of some people and how they done left the gate open on this, because somebody done left it wide open. I know one of us done left the gate open. One of us did it. And we just need to get to the bottom of it, children. So signs of a cheap church would be if you approach a church or you're going to a church and you may be looking for a new church home. You may be just going there to visit. But signs that it's a cheap church would be if you don't see a marquee or anything that remotely has the name of the church on it or anything. You want to try to see something with the church name on it. Now, some people have banners up across their church outside that says the church's name on it and things like that. And maybe something's happened to the marquee. But out of all the years you've been a church, there ought to be some kind of marquee or something out there. So that's kind of a sign. If there ain't no marquee, why ain't no marquee for the church? I don't understand that. Now, I don't understand that, children. I don't understand it. So that's one sign. Another sign that some people have noticed for a cheap church would be no church bus. Absolutely no church bus, van, whatever, nothing. So how are you transporting souls back and forth to your church for your services and for Sunday school and for vacation Bible school and different Wednesday night Bible, whatever? You know, whatsoever, children, whatsoever. How are you transporting folk if you ain't got no bus, no church van or nothing? I mean, how you getting people to and fro? How they get to and fro, children? It just makes me wonder. Now, something may have happened to the church van or something. It might be in the shop, whatever. But if there's no church van that belongs to a church, that's a red flag for me. That's a red flag. Children, it's a red flag. Another sign of a cheap church would be no choir stand. Have you ever been to these country churches back in the day? I'm saying back in the day, where there was no choir stand. I remember one time, because I told you I could sing, children. And one time we went to this church, and the choir was positioned out in the pews. We were out in the pews with the rest of the people. You know, what's up with that, children? I mean, why is there no choir stand? And it was a little old country church. So that's a red flag. Usually in this day and age, there's a choir stand of some sort in the church house. But if it's a cheap church, there may not be a choir stand. So that's a sign. That's a sign, children. It's a sign. Another sign is when you go into a church and there's no pews or no benches, but just chairs. There's just chairs everywhere. You know, can you not afford a bench? What? I don't understand. Do we need to take up a collection or do some kind of a fundraiser where you pay for a pew, buy a pew or something? I mean, I don't know, children. Help me now. Somebody let the gate open. I told you, let the gate open. So how are we going to be able to have a church with no pews? I mean, you ain't got no benches for nobody to sit on. So anyway, children, I'm just telling you, children. That's what I'm seeing. That's another red flag, children. No pews. Another way to determine that the church is cheap is there's no microphones. Sometimes, children, there'll be no microphones in the church, or there'll be just one microphone, and that microphone is on the podium up there where the pastor talks. And they pass it around the church so people can use it when they up there doing announcements or something else. They pass the mic around because there's only one microphone. That speaks volumes, children. Why is it just one microphone in your church now? Come on, children. Come on, children. Now, come on now. You know. So that's sort of a red flag to me if you only have one microphone in your church house, and then sometimes that microphone don't work. So that's a sign to me of a cheap church. Pray the Lord. Now I'm just talking about it, children. I'm talking about them. I'm trying to keep it 100 now. Trying to keep it 100. Another sign might be of a cheap church is that there's no air conditioning unit in the church, or no heat, if you will. Back in them little old churches, I was talking about the country churches. Back in the day, you would go into them churches and, oh, Lord have mercy, it'd be so hot in there. Oh, it'd be so hot. And you look around and everybody's fanning. Everybody's fanning. It was hot. It was really hot in those churches. And it's because they didn't have any air conditioning. But in this day and age, the majority, I just pray that it is, the majority of churches have air conditioning. If a church in this day and age does not have air conditioning, that's a red flag. That's a red flag about a cheap church. I mean, come on now. Come on, children. Come on now. It's supposed to be some kind of air conditioning or heat up in the church house. You come in church, you got to wear your full winter coat on because it's too cold in the church. They ain't got no heat on them in there. So something must be wrong. So children, please. Those are all signs of just red flag, children. Red flag, children. Another sign of a cheap church would be if you are in a church somewhere and you notice that there's duct tape around electrical equipment, like around cords and things like that, and anything in the church that they use, and you see duct tape wrapped around it. That's a sign there, right there. I don't know why you using duct tape. Why can't children? Why can't you get something and get stuff fixed? I'm just talking about it, children. I'm just saying the gate's open. It's still open. And I just think that has a lot, that speaks volumes about being cheap. It really does, children. It really does. In this day and age, it really does. It really does. Also, children, if you go into someone's church and you see cobwebs, everywhere you look, there's cobwebs in the corners and stuff. That to me signifies there's no housekeeper or no janitor, someone that keeps the church clean. Maybe 2 or 3 members is trying to get together and do it. I don't know, but why can't we afford a janitor? I don't understand now, children. Why can't we? That's a sign, children. That's a sign. Some churches you walk into, another sign is if you walk into a church and you smell mildew when you first walk in. It smell. That smell, children. Y'all know. And it's just something about that. And I don't understand. It's like the church has been shut up for years and they just now opening it back up or something. Why the church been shut up? I don't understand, children. I don't understand, children. So those are signs right there. And then the last sign that I'm going to share with you of a cheap church would be no giveaways. You don't have any type of giveaways. You don't have any kind of free feedings at the church where people come and get a free meal or something like that. You don't have anything like that you do free for the community or your church body. You don't have nothing free. It's something, I don't know. Everybody got to pay for the dinner. They got to pay for the membership. They got to pay to come to use the bathroom. They got to pay for everything in the church. I don't understand. That to me is a sign of a cheap church. If you got to always pay for everything and the church don't offer nothing free, there's something wrong. There's got to be something going on there financially with that church. Remember, children, churches are only as strong financially as the givers that give financially. So if you are a tither and you are a strong tither in your church and you have other strong tithers in your church, then your church 9 times out of 10 will not be a cheap church, because you will have the funds to be able to do things. So if we want our churches to look nice and we want our churches to have air conditioning and have benches and things like that, then we need to be givers, and we need to give a little more to the church in order for the church to use the funds properly and to be able to have these comforts, these creature comforts they call them. So we just need to be better givers. So if we're better givers, then chances are the churches will flourish better. I said chances are, children, now. Chances are. Pray the Lord now. I'm through with you today. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Like, comment, and subscribe to Sister Vinny. And children, I'm going to leave you with this. Children, please be safe out there. Satan is there. He's there. He's there. He gets in folk. He does everything. He's there. So please be careful. Because you just don't want, children, just don't want to walk up to heaven or get into heaven and Jesus say, "Depart from me, I never knew you." Praise the Lord. Children, thank you so much for tuning in to Sister Vinny today. I thank you so very much. I thank you. And I ask God's blessing on you, and you take care of yourself. And I now return you to your regularly scheduled program.